And of course, they overlook my collection of clear glass on this table. Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. And in this video, I'm excited to be participating in a collaboration hosted by myself, Dolores over at Miss DAM Jewelry in the UK, and Beth at Carolina Sweet Treats and Pretties. And we are hoping to bring back the clear glass in 2022. Now, I have a wonderful collection of clear glass. I've always loved the beauty and the elegance of it, but a lot of people feel like it's just not the it thing, and so it sits dusty on the bottom of a thrift store shelf, or people really pass it by and don't give it much thought. And I'm hoping through these videos and this collaboration that we'll be able to bring it back and show people how beautiful it is and how well it mixes in with other pieces in your home. So we are kicking off the tour with a beautiful piece of clear glass here, and I am going to take you around my home and I'm going to show you how I use my clear glass and how I have it displayed. And you guys are not going to want to miss this, because I've got a pretty cool collection of lucite candles mixed in with my clear glass. All right, folks, let's start the tour. Okay, guys, so the clear glass collaboration kicks off right by my entryway door. Now, this is my entryway. I've got some things I've collected from my travels, some pieces that are just really special to me, mixed in with, of course, my rusty, crusty advertising that I just adore. And I love the way this corner turned out. I'm really happy with it. And of course, I love my 1930s Planters peanut jar. Now, there are a lot of reproductions of these on the market, so you have to be careful. In the 70s, I believe they made those cobalt glass ones with the peanuts on the side. Those are not original 1930s store displays. They are just lookalikes. This is a real one, and I got it from my great-grandfather's cousin, Evelyn Nunley. Her husband was a pharmacist, and I believe this was in their store and then later in their home on their counter, and I am just so thrilled to have this amazing piece of advertising. What I love about it is it's clear glass, and so it really does allow me to showcase my growing collection of tape measures. It kind of corrals them all in one place, and I can still see them through the clear glass jar, which is just awesome. So if you open up the lid, which I love has the peanut finial on the top, that just makes me so happy for some reason, you can see all of my tape measures down inside. This one Dolores actually gave me from Miss DAM Jewelry from England, and it is leather. It is so cool. And then I have all kinds of other tape measures, like this Bakelite Brownie tape measure, which is just awesome. Fantastic little tape measure. My Atlantic tape measures. So it kind of brings what normally is an elegant little area with the glass and the porcelain, a little bit more of that industrial look that I love with these tape measures. And I just think that they are so cool. So you gotta love some of the graphics on them. And I love the way that this clear glass really showcases them off. And so my goal is to stack them all the way around like a really neat store display, and you can see them from the outside. So I've had fun adding tape measures to this jar, and I love the way the clear glass just mixes in over here. It's absolutely perfect. So this is a great way to use some of those old clear glass jars. So I have clear glass scattered out throughout my entire house. I just love it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it mixes in so well with other advertising and pieces in your collection. And this is a spot in my kitchen that I am in love with, and I really, 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 really love Hazel Atlas Crisscross. And this is a pattern that was produced in the 1930s, and this is the refrigerator water bottle. It is just stunning. Look at that plaid design that's pressed into the glass. You've got that red lid, It is just so cool. Now, I want to fill this with marbles. I don't have any marbles yet, but I am looking for uranium marbles, and I want to fill this jar up with them, which I think would be so cool. And look how nicely it mixes in with all of my other advertising and displays here. It just really is a statement piece. I also have some other clear glass here, which is a beautiful little sherbet. This is actually made by Fostoria. It is needle etched. It has a gorgeous pattern on it. Look at that. It's got the Greek key with the little squigglies going across the side. Just a stunner. And I really like these individual sherbets because they stack up beautifully in other pieces of glass like I have here. Now this piece is a gorgeous little designed piece of glass. I don't 100% know that this is Banded Rings by Anchor Hawking, although it looks like this. It's got the waffle pattern on the bottom, or the caning, and it is just a stunner. Really, really lovely. I would assume that this is also Depression era glass as well. And it just is so nice stacked up with some other glass. You can really stack glass together, and it doesn't have to all be the same pattern to look really elegant and classy together. So this is my little display in my kitchen, and we're going to continue the kitchen tour because I've got more clear glass. Okay, so this is the part of my kitchen that has my beautiful antique Apothecary scale. I absolutely love this piece, and I love the green color, and of course I have a big collection of uranium, but we are not here today to talk about uranium glass. We are going to showcase the clear glass in this corner, and look how beautifully it mixes in with the green. It is just a stunner. So I've got more of the Hazel Atlas crisscross that I love. This is a refrigerator dish. And then next to it, I have a piece of clear glass that has a uranium base on it. So yes, that base actually does light up green, but it is a piece of Fostoria. And it is a sherbet, and I've turned it upside down, and I've put my great-grandmother's antique potato masher on it with a Texel tape tin, and incorporated it with all of my other rusty, crusty things that I just love. So this is the fountain pattern by Fostoria. It's a pretty rare pattern, made I believe in the 30s, and it is just a stunner, and it's a lovely way to display something like this. So don't forget about your clear glass sherbets. You can turn them upside down and do so much with them. Now the piece de resistance for this area really is my stunning Heisey glass candy dish that I got from Scott over at the old Curiosity Shop. This piece is one of my favorite pieces to add height to this display and really round it out, and I have filled it with some amazing candy that Angela Marksberry found for me. It's coffee candy, and it's so delicious, but it looks amazing in this clear glass jar. So I love these old clear glass candy jars, and again, the possibilities with these really are endless. So some of the other ways I use clear glass in my home is sitting atop my great-grandmother's 1916 Red Eye Singer sewing machine. Now this Singer sewing machine got its Red Eye name from the little red eyes that go across the bottom and of course through the top of the Singer machine. This is just a gorgeous piece of machinery, and it was actually one of the best machines you can buy when this was released on the market. Now next to the sewing machine on the fold out table, I have two beautiful women sitting here, and this first lady is my great-grandmother Esther. She's the master quilter and sewed some beautiful flower sack dresses for my grandmother Beverly, who's pictured here, and of course they overlook my collection of clear glass on this table. Now when I got the sewing machine, the drawers were chock full of all kinds of sewing notions that my great-grandmother used, and while I wanted to keep the drawers basically how she had them, I thought it would be fun to select a few special pieces and pull them out to display in a piece of glass. So I picked up this beautiful crystal bowl from Reclaimed Treasures by Mary in the diamond point pattern, I believe made in West Germany, and I've displayed some spools of thread in here, and the graphics on top of these old spools are just to die for, and I thought how cool would they look displayed in this clear glass bowl. Now next to the clear glass bowl, I have a relish dish that belonged to my grandmother Bev. She got this as a wedding gift back in the 50s, and this is actually New Martinsville in the Prelude pattern. Well, it's technically not New Martinsville because in 1944 New Martinsville was bought out by Viking, and they actually continued to make the Prelude pattern. So technically this is Prelude by Viking, but it is a gorgeous piece. And this just goes to show you, you don't have to use relish dishes or pickle dishes or any type of food dish actually in the kitchen. They make great pieces around your home for displaying marbles and of course brooches and anything you want to put in them. So this really is a stunner of a piece. It's got some beautiful etching on the side, and it makes for a great display for little trinkets. Right now I currently have a cool little vintage Boston Terrier patch in it that I got from Stephanie and Thrifting Adventures, and it just kind of rounds out this gorgeous display. So you really gotta use all of the clear glass you have and really think outside the box, because this is a fabulous little display on my grandmother's sewing machine. Alright, so if you've been following me for a while, you know that I absolutely love all things advertising and ephemera. And this wire spool that I picked up off the side of the road for free and turned into my coffee table really is the perfect spot to display some of my larger clear glass items that hold advertising and ephemera. Now these two bowls really are the main displays here on this table, and they belong to my great-grandmother Esther, the one who had that gorgeous sewing machine. These are berry bowls, and I absolutely love the maximalist look here. I'm a huge fan of a curated home, so when people come in, they're like, ooh, that's interesting. Oh, where did you get that from? Tell me about this. I love looking at things, and I think it goes perfectly with that vintage industrial look that I have going on. Now, these two bowls, as I mentioned, are berry bowls, so they're a set, and what I think is cool about them is not only are they made in the 1930s, and they belong to my great-grandmother, but they represent a really unique manufacturing time in glass history. So these are actually what we would call wheel cut. To the naked eye, they would appear to be etched, but they actually have a cut design in them. So these were blanks that were sent out to jewelry stores and department stores all over the country, and then they used a wheel cutting machine to actually cut in a specific design. So this was in a time in history when cut glass was really expensive and the average person really couldn't afford it. So in order to give people the look of cut glass without actually paying for it, they were able to manufacture a whole bunch of pressed glass blanks and then use a wheel cutting machine to cut in a really beautiful flower design. And I just think that these are stunning. One of the things I love about small clear glass bowls is you can use them to display treasures, and I've got some really cool little things here sitting in this bowl. The first piece is a red leather tag that I picked up on my travels in Italy. I actually bought a leather notepad holder, and the lady at the flea market had this as the price tag, and I said, is there any way that I could have this? And the lady said, oh sure. And I've always had it displayed in my home, and it's perfect inside of this little berry bowl here. The next thing is I have an old nail tin. I believe this has a patent date of 1908 or 1910, something to that effect. I got it from Missy over at Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter, and I love the color mixed in with some of the other golds that I have here on the table, and it looks really, really stunning in this glass bowl. Now, the last piece I have displayed here is a very special piece because, yes, folks, I was the first guest on Patrick over at Trusty Huckster Mercantile's Duo Dive show, or Deep Dive show. It's now Duo Dive. I'm so honored that I get to be a part of that with him and do all kinds of cool research and have amazing guests on, but really without being on the Deep Dive, I wouldn't have met any of the people in this community and gotten to become really good friends with Patrick. So I just treasure this keychain, and I think it's so cool that he actually had these made for his guests. So they're little Duo Dive, I keep saying Duo Dive, but deep diving helmets, and they are so special and really unique, and a great little piece here that I love looking at, and it always stays on this bowl in the center of my coffee table, and I look at it every day. Now, the next piece of clear glass here is a big berry bowl, and this is really the bowl that started my collection of ephemera. So I had this bowl, and I didn't quite know what to do with it. It was sitting on my coffee table. It was kind of large, and I thought, you know, I have a few pieces of ephemera. Why don't I put them in here And then, well, my collection just grew. And as they say, the rest is history. So this bowl is clear and it houses all kinds of fun ephemera. Now, I don't want to pick it up because it is the same as that little bowl. And I'm not sure that I want to break it because actually, well, I broke one of the other bowls that went to this set, and I was heartbroken for about a week. So this bowl stays put, it never moves. But I do want to do a video because this bowl is getting very filled with ephemera. I've gone a little bit crazy here, but I love that kind of chaotic look with all the cool graphics popping out. It's so interesting, and it's a really great way to display ephemera, so it's not just sitting in a drawer or a binder, because when it's in a drawer or binder, you can't really enjoy it. So here it's on display. I get to see all the cool things that I love every day, and it's just awesome. So I filled it with all kinds of cool antique and vintage advertising. I have a Dolly Does It letter from the 1940s explaining what they would do during wartime. I have a Quality Carries On bottle drip protector. I've got all kinds of ink blotters inside here for Coca-Cola, calculators, and other companies. I love old maps, so I've filled this with maps from New York City and Missouri and places that really are special to me. I've got all kinds of cool little playing card things and advertisements again for Coke. Patrick, Trusty Huckster, sent me these amazing trunk down elephant coasters, or cards rather, because we are on a crusade to save the trunk down elephants. I've got a whole collection of fun cigarette cards, daily reminder book. I mean, it's just endless. And of course in the back, some of my larger salesman catalogs. This is just such a cool bowl and a great use of clear glass to display some awesome ephemera. Now the last couple of clear glass pieces on this table are really neat. This piece here is actually a souvenir piece from New York City, and this features the Empire State Building. It is an ashtray, but I always say that you don't have to use ashtrays as ashtrays because you can put all kinds of cool little treasures inside. Now I don't have something yet for this ashtray, but it does look really cool on this table and reminds me of all of my wonderful travels to New York. New York, next to London, is my very favorite city, and I cannot wait to go back. So this just brings a lot of happy memories to me every time I look at it, and I think it looks really great next to my grandmother's clear glass berry bowls. Now the last couple of pieces of clear glass on this table are more of a practical item for me. I picked these up from Patrick over at Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and I love burning incense. So I was looking for something that would be kind of vintage and neat and serve a purpose to actually keep some of the ashes from my incense and sage contained in one spot, not all over the table and on the floor. So these were perfect for it. These are a little snack set. These were like used in bridge parties, so they would put nuts and olives and probably cubes of cheese or whatever else you wanted to include for a little snack while you were playing bridge. Now there are versions of these that were cigarette holders. These do not have the divots for cigarettes, so I do believe that this is the snack set. Several companies manufactured these. These are quite common, but they are really fun. You can hang them on the wall, you can use them for marbles, any kind of little thing that you want to put inside. They're really perfect for. Now you can tell who manufactured these by the flower petal shape. So the shape of this petal tells me that these are actually Indiana glass, aka tiara glass. Tiara glass is part of Indiana glass. They are made to look like sandwich glass. Now sandwich glass got its name from the mold that was manufactured or invented in Sandwich, Massachusetts. But these are not actually sandwich glass. They are Indiana tiara from probably the 1970s. I believe that different companies, including Anchor Hawking, might have made these. So there's all kinds of different companies, and you can look up a chart online to determine which set you have. But these are fun, and they make a great spot to hold my incense. So the last display of clear glass is actually featured here in my bedroom. Now, I do have a display of clear glass on my kitchen counter, but I can't show that to you in this video because I've actually packed it all away for Christmas, and I still have my aluminum Christmas tree up, and I'm just not ready to let Christmas go, so I'm enjoying it a tad longer. But this display is fantastic because I love that you can mix in colored glass with all kinds of other cool vintage objects to create a really, really cool epic display. And that clear glass just mixes in with all of that absolutely beautifully. Now, this table here belonged to my grandparents. They had this in their basement. I think it's from the 1950s. It has a beautiful design with the sunburst and the Greek key going around. And it really is the perfect base to showcase all of this clear and colored glass. Now, one of the things I love about clear glass is it really goes with any style of decor. And I have a very vintage industrial themed apartment, but if you loved boho, shabby chic, farmhouse, you could definitely add in the clear glass. It goes with any style of decorating that you have in your home. And I love the way that it pairs with this old 1930s, 40s Underwood typewriter. This actually belonged to my great-grandfather, and his secretary typed on it, and she won all kinds of typing contests on this typewriter. I can't believe they actually had typing contests back in the day, but they did. And this is a really fabulous piece, and that kind of silver-toned metal on it really pairs well with that clear glass. And of course, I love adding in all of my collection of lucite candlesticks because it showcases them off beautifully here in that clear glass. You can add any color to it. Now, this display here really features kind of a hodgepodge of different glass, and I love that. I'm a big fan of collecting random pieces of glass and just mixing it in. You can collect glass from all different eras, and it really does look good together. So this display here showcases some pieces I've received from family and pieces from friends all across the vintage community. So the first pieces of colored glass that I have here belong to my great-grandmother, and this is a beautiful tiffin bowl with the candlesticks. Absolutely lovely console set, and it is a true stunner. And then next to it, I have a piece of Fostoria. I've got the whole console set here with the candlesticks and the bowl. These were designed in the 1930s by the famed George Saker, who made these geometric bowls. They came in a variety of colors, and I have the ice blue here. And I really, really love how they pair just beautifully with my Fostoria Baroque 1920s, 30s candlesticks. They are real stunners. Now, these candlesticks belong to Evelyn Nunley, the lady who owned that cool Planters peanut jar that I showcased at the beginning of the video. And I love the way the light pours through the window at that golden hour time of day and really reflects off the crystals of these candlesticks. It is just gorgeous, and it really does make me so happy. And of course, it reflects into that blue glass as well and just creates such an amazing display. So you gotta love those Baroque candlesticks. Fostoria just made some stunning, stunning glassware. Now, in the back of this display, I actually have all kinds of candlesticks. And Angela Marksberry sent me a few. Gabby sent me a really cool piece of Fostoria. And then I found some pieces myself, and I keep adding to this window display. Now, I know that UV light can damage clear glass over time and turn it purple, but you gotta live in the moment and just enjoy the things you have while you have them. That's my philosophy. So I'm just going for it and putting all of the clear glass in the window and enjoying the way the light reflects off of it and bounces around the room. Now, I'm going to start with my tour of clear glass candlesticks here in the back because I have quite a few of them, and I love how they look with the lucite candlesticks. So this piece here was found for $1.99 from Angela in a thrift store. And again, all of this clear glass for the most part is pretty inexpensive right now. So you can go to a thrift store and find some of this elegant glass at a really stellar price. So this is a piece of Cambridge glass with their famous keyhole design. That little design in the center is what they call the keyhole. And then it has the gorgeous Martha etch on the bottom. And check out this stunner. It's almost like a candelabra with the 3 slots for candles there. and it looks incredible in the window here. Now next to it I have another piece of glass. This is probably one of my favorite candlesticks I own, next to those Fostoria Baroque pieces, and you can just see the light shimmer off of that. Just gorgeous. I think that this is either Heisey or Cambridge. I'm still trying to identify that etch. This might be the Shirley etch, I'm not 100% sure, but I love that little knob in the center. The light just hits that and it is like a prism. Absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. So this piece is another favorite of mine here in the back. And I think if you lined all of these up on a dining room table and then did all of your lucite candles or some sort of other display for a big dinner party you were having, these would just be really a showstopper. Now in the center here, I have my only two matching pair of candlesticks in the back row here, and they are Fostoria in the American pattern. And American was made for quite a long time, so I can't say exactly the era of when these were produced, but look at that prism pattern. Isn't that pretty? And the light really does reflect off of all those little prisms and just creates such an amazing, amazing color around the room. And I love them with my gold yellow lucite candlesticks. Now these candlesticks I've purchased through eBay and other places, and they're often missing their little rubber gasket or foam gasket to keep them in the candlestick. So yes, I have had to get creative and kind of create my own so that they stay up in the candlestick. But that's a great way to get some of these lucite candlesticks at a cheaper price when they're either missing their wicks or their little rubber foam inserts. So that's just a little tip for all of you lucite candle collectors there. Now the last piece that I have back here is this beautiful piece by Heisey Glass, and Heisey made some really good quality glass, as well as Cambridge and Fostoria. And this is just an amazing piece of glass. Look at the rose etch on the bottom. Is that not just gorgeous? Oh, I cannot tell you how much I love this piece. It kind of looks like the Heisey dolphin. You know, they made the clear glass pieces with the dolphin feet, and it kind of resembles that here in the design of this candlestick. And I love it with my red lucite candle. Just an amazing piece. Now, the last piece of clear glass on this display here was actually sent to me by Gabby. And Gabby found this piece, I think, at a yard sale. And what it is actually a clear glass sample bottle. So this was a sample piece manufactured for Fostoria. It is from the 1930s in their bathroom line of things they did. I think like this was not a perfume, but it held other bathroom related products. And then of course it's got the clear glass stopper. Now I don't think that this clear glass stopper originally went with this, although it matches it beautifully. And the reason I say that is because this Fostoria sticker was not introduced until around the 1950s. But it is a beautiful piece, and it's so cool to have a sample base from the 1930s. Just amazing, and a great piece to add in with all of my clear and colored glass here. This is just quite the display, and when you have it showcased during the golden hour time of day, it really, really does just shine. I love the way the light comes through this window. I wanted to showcase that, but it is a little hard to see in the camera during that time because you get so much backlight. Now, I just cannot tell you how excited I am to show this to you all, and I hope it inspires you to actually use some of that clear glass or pick it up next time you're out shopping and create a really epic display like this one. Well guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed bringing back the clear glass with me, Beth, Dolores, and all of the other wonderful collaborators involved in this video project. Make sure you check that playlist link down below and watch all of the other videos. There's going to be a lot of great ways to use clear glass, and I can't wait to see everybody's displays. And also, make sure you're checking out the hashtag over on Instagram, because there's a lot of Instagram collaborators that are going to post some wonderful photos and videos over there. Well, I could not be more honored to be involved in this collaboration. I hope it inspires you to bring back the clear glass and give clear glass a second look. And of course, until my next video, I'll be seeing you over on Instagram at vintage_and_vinyl. And I hope as always that you will stay in, stay safe, and vent YouTube. Bye-bye now.